Okay, this is another response to another of Laurie Reloaded's videos. It's about the Terran Empire, specifically the government of the Terran Empire. And there's a theme that Star Trek Enterprise and Star Trek Discovery hint upon that I want to discuss today. Is the Terran Empire a continuation of the Roman Empire? In some ways, yes. In other ways, no. Now, the evidence for this idea is that in Through a Mirror Darkly, Archer refers to gods. The other evidence is in Enterprise, we see the Empress referred to by several Roman titles, Augustus, for example. Okay, firstly, people have used the mythology of Rome for centuries. There's nothing new in this. The U.S. Capitol is named after Roman iconography. The Roman Senate, the Imperial Eagles of Napoleon, the Senate in Ireland, which is a particular historical problem, considering that it's supposed to represent the Celts, and the Romans pretty much wiped them out. But yes, so the fact that there's Roman iconography is nothing new there, or nothing surprising. The other bit of evidence is actually linguistic. Everyone in the Terran Empire is speaking English, and it's in English with things, with names and places we recognize. James T. Kirk. James is obviously a biblical name, and Kirk infers a church. So why would someone who grew up in a world in which the Roman Empire never fell and remained polytheistic be named after one of the apostles and a church? It doesn't make sense. Another interesting idea is that the core of the Terran Empire is the Western Hemisphere. Some people, well, our cousins, the Americans, have a problem with this. I don't. There's several reasons. Number one, if there'd been a Third World War, Fourth World War, it's possible that the Western Hemisphere would have come out unscathed. In fact, I think this is something that happened actually in Star Trek. A lot of the world has been destroyed, and we're seeing the survivors from the US, Britain and Ireland, parts of France. But for example, we don't need any Spaniards, as far as I know. Was Spain destroyed? There's no evidence. It's noticeable Julian Bashir has a British accent. So, I don't think there's a problem with the core of the Terran Empire being in the Western Hemisphere. Remember that there were several empires in the Western Hemisphere. There's the Empire of Brazil, Empire of Mexico, Canada was part of the British Empire, and before that there were the empires of the Aztecs and the Incas. An empire doesn't necessarily have to have a monarch. The French Empire didn't, after the fall of Napoleon and the establishment of the Third Republic, I think. In fact, the US did actually seize territories. It seized the Philippines, Cuba, Puerto Rico, et al. They just don't call it an empire for reasons. But the Romans would have recognized it as such. Interestingly, the one thing that the Terran Empire is more similar to Rome is in actually Through a Mirror Darkly, where we see a clearly pro-human empire, but with a prominent Vulcan. This is what happened in ancient Rome. The core of Rome was Italian, but there were obviously Greeks and Germans and Celts and North Africans, such as Septimus Servius, who rose into prominence. So the Terran Empire, in that respect, is more like Rome. Okay, well, thank you for watching. All opinions are my own. Have a good day.